Get ready, because it's going to be a doozy. Scorpio, Mercury just moved in. It just just come on in over the weekend. Whoosh, Mercury came in, and when Mercury comes into Scorpio, it digs and it searches and it learns and it looks, it inquires, it sits back, it's quiet, but it investigates. It is the PI of the placements that Mercury can be in, and it doesn't balk at what it finds, and it always finds something, and it's just unafraid of those darker things that maybe we didn't want to see or we didn't want to know. So Scorpio, believe me when I say secrets are going to be revealed, secrets that aren't just from other people coming on the outside of you, but they're coming from inside of you. The wonderful aspect of this is a lack of fear. This sense of I'm overrunning from this. I just can't anymore. I had a vision of you guys over the weekend. I was describing Scorpio to my friend who is a Scorpio. And I said, Scorpio is the phoenix. 100%. That's what Scorpio is. Their entire existence is total annihilation and rebirth. It's the death rebirth cycle. They rule the 8th house. It's how they learn. It's how they interact with life. It's how they understand their own existence. And so right now is a beautiful time for you, because if you can imagine the life cycle of a phoenix, Scorpio, you had melted away. You had completely annihilated. You had turned to dust. You are now rising. You are on the rise. And I would say for the next 20 years, you are experiencing a different life cycle, especially for those of you who are close to your Saturnian return that happens around the ages of 28 and then 54. Or 54, 56. So there is this sense of a wonderful rising from the ashes as something new, as a new life. But this is not that you leave behind, suddenly you've forgotten who you were. No. The beautiful part about this rebirth is that you always become something better because of how much you have learned from what you experienced. And you are on the rise. You are experiencing a sensation of fearlessness when it comes to confronting things that you've held on to for too long, different things that you may not have wanted to face, decisions that you've put off, relationships that you've stayed in that have stagnated. All of those things are not making you afraid anymore. There's too much knowledge of the pain and suffering that you've gone through because of them, and the fact that you can survive this and you don't need it anymore. So why would you hold on to it? There's this beautiful sense of it's not just time to let go. I understand now that I don't need. I understand now that, gosh, there's something different for me. It's like you're ready. You're ready for something new. You just are ready for something new. And when I say ready, it's not just a craving. It's an actual ready, as in you've done the training. You've done the personal training. You've prepared. You are ready for something new, and that's what you're living. And this all comes back to this sense of self-worth. This sense of I've been ripped, I've been teared, I've been shred. Now, how do I find the way to love who I am and be comfortable with everything about who I am in the open, in public, for everybody to see, but also, more importantly, when I look into the mirror? This sense of this is me, right? It's time to take action, surrender to the divine. These two cards came out for you guys too. So giving over to the divine inside of yourself that says, this is the ugly truth. Like, this is the truth of who I am. And I'm not trying to make excuses for it. I accept it so that I can do my best with it, do something with it. This is a whole new restart. This is an Aries new moon energy. Now, of course, let's not go into Aries because I think it's just almost it's a representative energy. I don't know if some of you guys are dealing with an Aries. Restart with a relationship with an Aries, or understanding who you are better, and finally being prepared to accept a relationship or a circumstance that you were never able to accept before. For the past year, Uranus has been in Taurus, which is in direct opposition to you. So it's challenging you to see partnerships in different ways. It's challenging you to think of partnerships in ways that you had not previously thought. So it's not just choosing different partners, right? It's also choosing different kinds of partnerships. Partnerships that scared you, or that you had thought you'd never become a part of, are now all of a sudden, why didn't I think about that before? Or, God, I'm so much happier doing it this way. Something has come out, something very deep, and it has to do with familiar ties, familiar relationships. I don't dare delve into right now, because this is the general reading. I don't dare delve into right now what those relationships are, but I'm just going to let you know that there is this sense of you're done running. You're done running. You've learned it. You've learned what it is. You finished. It's almost like, when you have this inside of you, this when you have something chasing you, it's exciting. It's a reason to run. And maybe you've gotten some great success on this reason to run. I mean, it's been your fuel for the past 20, 30, 40 years. And now it's like, I don't need that to fuel me anymore. It was such an adventure to run, to keep hiding from this, or to keep this being what was my motivation. I don't need that motivation anymore. And I'm kind of sick and tired of running. There's something that's been discovered, something that you've learned. And with Mercury present, you're going to learn a lot. There are going to be secrets revealed. Now, what the cards here are showing is very confusing. Something has been going on inside your family, maybe inside your family history or karmic family patterns. There is this something you've been running from, something that you haven't wanted to look at, something that you've wanted to understand, something that has been driving you and pushing you forward, but maybe under false pretenses. It's been confused. It's a tremendous burden to your family. But ultimately, you're going to confront this. I liken this to a time bomb that you've uncovered. It's a time bomb sitting beneath your house. Let's say that the house represents your family. And you've been aware of it for years, and you have been really, really almost supercharged and hyped. It's almost driven you to the point of ecstasy and excitement that you were ignoring it because you knew how dangerous it was. Well, now you're experiencing a different kind of courage, and you're going beneath the house. You're digging this time bomb up, and you're not making it explode. You're not at fault for this. No. You're not destroying anything. Your intent is to save, to reveal, to heal. Now, those are the energies that we were working with last week, right? So you're not exploding that time bomb. You're taking it, calling the family to the table, putting it on the table. And you're saying, this was beneath our house. And we need to acknowledge it in order to diffuse it. Because I don't want this as a part of my reality anymore. And that's what you're doing. You're diffusing that time bomb so that it doesn't have any power over you anymore. There's something that you know that none of you wanted to confront, none of you wanted to face. Maybe you've danced around subject matters. Now, when you say family, it could be your family of friends. It could be your family at work. Yes, it could be your actual family. And this does imply some sort of family cross, burden to bear, secret that they've hidden, something to confront. Maybe a parent wasn't really a parent, or not being able to know or understand your real parent, or not being able to confront. Maybe you were angry your whole life at your father, but that was because you were projecting the anger that you felt toward your mother on your father. You know, so instead you're actually seeing, oh my God, maybe I wanted my dad's attention so bad because I felt like my mom had abandoned me. And now I'm finally going to my mom and saying, this is how I felt. You abandoned me. And I desperately needed dad to be there. And then ended up hating dad because he wasn't, but dad was never there. But it was easier to hate him than you because I needed you. But ultimately, I was angry at you. Why'd you make this choice? It's important for me to know. Maybe you had decided, I talked about Uranus in that house of partnerships, sort of opposing you this whole year, putting pressure on you, making you think of relationships or reconsider the relationships that you're in, and the sense of maybe you had decided, I'm never going to be a mother. I'm never going to be a mother because of my relationship with my mother, or because of how hurt I was when I lost her, or a myriad of other reasons that you could be experiencing. And so I'm never going to be a mother. But ultimately now you're being tasked with being a mother. Realizing that that's the catharsis that you actually needed in this whole time you've been running away from it. So these are just a few examples of what you're going to be confronting and what kind of secrets are going to be revealed to you about yourself, about your drive, about your motivation, about what has been making you run. Even if that run has, like Forrest Gump ran, and it ran him right into fame and fortune. But why was he running? Because that's the important part. That's the reveal here. And it's not going to take anything away from you that you've earned. What it's going to do is turn you in a different direction. But what I know for a fact is there is this gut. There is this power. This is your sacral energy. There is this strength in you that cannot be held back anymore. There is this impulse and charge and energy for you to literally heal this, as well as resurrect it and confront it, as well as be reborn in a different way, reimagining yourself based on the fact that this doesn't drive you anymore. You're getting your energy from something else. You're getting your energy from confronting. You're getting your energy from truth. You're getting your energy from not being afraid, from courage. And then you're using your throat. Look at this, throat chakra. You're using your voice. So it's starting here in your gut and it's coming out. It's almost like this sense of you have been building your voice. You've been building your song. You've been building your ability to sing, your strength, your courage, to be heard, to be hear me, hear me, hear me. It's all this push. Something has to come out. You're confronting it. 1414. Could be dealing with a divine counterpart. Let's get into the main reading. Oh my God, Scorpio. 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 What were we talking about? Gemini energy. Parroting, saying what you need to say, saying what, or people saying what you need to hear, or saying what you think people need to hear to keep the family together and keep everybody feeling happy, right? Watch your words when it comes to people that you love. Making sure that you don't hurt or ruin relationships, or that you don't speak so harshly or condemningly. But also this sense of what? Libran energy, be peace. See, you've been holding your tongue. Saying what needs to be said, saying what is expected. You've been holding your tongue. And when you haven't, maybe you've been too biting and too critical. So there's a sense of, what do I do? How do I behave? But you know something. You know a truth. You see it and you've realized it. This is hidden. This is something that's hidden. Something that you've had your eyes on for quite some time. This could also be a sense of something that you've been feeling. If you have an Aquarius in your life, this is Aquarius energy. So it could represent a person for you, somebody that you've had your eyes on, something that you've wanted to say to somebody for a very long time, but haven't. You've held it back, and they've been keeping their eye on you as well. But ultimately, whatever has been hidden, whatever has been stuck in your throat is coming out. The truth is going to be spoken from the darkness, from what's been hidden, from what's been held back. No more of this no more of this saying what needs to be said to keep the peace. This is a sense of, I'm just going to say exactly what I need to say. I'm going to say the truth, because ultimately I got to shout this out. I got to tell them that I love them. I got to tell them that I want them. I got to tell them, I've got to say this for my own good, for my own heart. There has been this, I'm keeping the peace. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be very, very careful with how I go about this. Okay, that's fine. But ultimately, the truth has to be confronted, because there is like a darkness stalking you. And it's coming to light. It's being illuminated. Now, down here, interesting enough, Spirit has your back. This is Capricornian energy. It's also Waikantaka energy. It's Great Spirit energy. You're being driven, and understand now, there's almost like you're tapped directly into Source, who has probably been sending you messages a great deal. So a lot of animal messengers coming to you saying, okay, what kind of animals have you seen around you lately? What have they been talking to you about? What have they been telling you? Eagle is Great Spirit itself. It's almost like the manifestation itself saying, I'm here for you. I'm not only am I here for you, I'm the one driving now. This is also paternal energy, father energy. Sometimes life stings. You could be dealing with issues that are concerning your father. That could be that familiar context that we were talking about earlier. Some things that have built up. See, this is you. This is your stinger. Could be you yourself taking the lead, being the voice, speaking out when other people won't speak out because you see what other people refuse to see. Just following this sense of holiness and spirituality, trust in the divine. You don't know where this is going to go. You just know that you have to do it. It's going to be really interesting in tarot, because I just want to get into the details. But this is this energy of, it's almost like, I don't matter here. I'm taking myself out of this. I'm taking myself like not that you don't matter here, because it's saying that I'm not the one that is the most important here. What's most important here is the message that I have to deliver. And I know it's not going to be something that a lot of people want to hear, but it is something that we have to look at. Because it is a pest. It's been bugging us. It's been buzzing around, flying around. I mean, why haven't we talked about it? This is like the elephant in the room, but we were all deciding to ignore it. I'm not ignoring it anymore. No. And I'm not allowing anybody in this room to ignore it anymore. I'm not going to shove it in your face, but I'm going to make you turn around and look at it. Take the lead and sing your song. What is it? Oh my God. Scorpio, what do you need to say? This is also Gemini energy. This is being true to yourself, being true to who you are. So it's juxtaposition, right? But it works out perfectly. There is this sense of, no, I don't come first, but more than ever, I believe in myself. Because I'm attached to the higher purpose now. I know that I have a higher purpose now. It's not just about me or what I want. No, it's about what needs to happen. You're the one that's guiding the way. You're the one that's having the courage and the strength to step out first and say what needs to be said. It may be lonely out front. I don't think so, though. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm looking at the relationship cards. I don't think you're going to be alone. Because this is an energy that comes through the clearing to help you, to hear you. It's like as soon as you've started to be who you are out loud, there is this, like, that's the tone that calls this special energy to you. And this is an energy of somebody that is just completely unique and beautiful, lovely and aligned. Now, of course, you wouldn't be able to call this energy in if you weren't experiencing or embodying this energy yourself. But you're the one taking the initiative and you're using your voice. You're saying it out loud. You're like, there's so much here. There's so much here. Oh my God. And it's coming from your roots. It's coming from the dead things. It's coming from those things that were unsettled. And look at this. I mean, I don't even shuffle these cards like all together. They're from different decks. It's like rising from the depths. You're rooted. You rooted yourself. It's coming from the depths. It's coming from your family, your history roots, coming undone, coming up, showing, demonstrating, but also like being the base for what makes you something more than what you were. It's healing. It's healing. When you confront this, when you talk about this, you are actually able to put it behind you by incorporating it into you, by transforming it, and therefore transforming yourself through it. This has to do at least in part with somebody who is deceased. And it could very well be something that comes in, an old letter, an old note, something that you haven't read for years, or a statement that they made, a note that never got to you. A note that never got to you, and now for the first time it's come. Almost like from beyond the grave, a sense of them talking to you and you being able to lay something to rest because now you finally understand it. It's not chasing you like a demon anymore because it's right there in front of you, mystery solved. Now you know how they felt. This is a way to heal the hurt. It's a way to heal yourself. Those pieces that were missing from you, you can now put together. And now that's what's liberating you from having to be involved in relationships that didn't suit you, or et cetera, because now you're not a broken thing that is settling for patchwork. Now you're whole. This is beautiful news because it's completing you. Okay. Whoa. Let's listen to angel messages, Scorpio. Okay, there's a lot of blue light here. Of course, right? Why? Throat chakra, talking, speaking, finally being able to say something that's been sitting on your gut for so long. Archangel Uriel is here. A great spiritual transformation is currently occurring both in your life and in our world. This is the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter. Heart and mind unite in harmonious balance. Positive outcome. The sun is about to burst through the clouds, and you will soon see things in a different light. Something that previously seemed hopeless will soon be filled with nothing but hope. And I know that each and every one of you, as I'm reading this, you actually felt something and knew something as soon as I freaking said it. I know it. Blue angel, this is Archangel Michael, but listen to this. We talked about healing, right? I, Archangel Michael, am here by your side. I am all around you and will forever protect you. Remember this, whenever you feel fearful, I love you. All is well. You're going to feel loved by somebody that you didn't think loved you, that you didn't feel loved by, you felt abandoned by, or you've missed for a very long time. I swear to God, this is almost like messages from beyond the grave, but it's healing and patching up and filling in those places that made you feel completely parceled, piecemealed, shredded. It's healing you. It's protecting you. Wisdom. Everything has a place and purpose. To be wise is to have great love, tolerance, and compassion for all things. This is heart chakra. This is green energy. Your heart chakra is opening up because of what's finally coming out. I just heard a question. It's almost like, well, Michelle, could this be somebody is finally telling me what I need to hear? That's it. I think it's somebody, you're finally hearing what needs to be said. You're getting the message of the truth, and then you're sharing it to help heal the larger group, the larger part of your family. I do feel like a lot of this is coming from you, maybe what you've hidden for so long, but it's catalyzed by a message that you receive that's giving you the strength to break through and finally say what you need to say to help heal yourself. Heart and soul. When making your decision, take into account what your heart and soul are saying. Sometimes the mind can deceive us. Choose through love, not fear. There's been a lot of this, a lot of looking back and feeling like, oh my God, we're never, ever, ever going to get back what we lost. You're going to get more. You're going to get more. I'll see you guys over there in I'll see you guys in the extended. The link is below.